Okay, so I've decided to take 5 minutes to just bring everybody up to date with the whole AMD macOS X stuff. The reason I'm doing this is that I've had a lot of questions and comments recently. Some of them haven't been very pleasant, have been kind of accusing me of lying about the whole AMD aspects of my VMware images. And so this video is going to be a point of reference to which I can just direct people, and I'm basically going to tell you everything that I know on the subject, like currently, without going into massive detail because I want to keep it as simple as possible. And you'll be pleased to know that in this video I'm going to name some processes that are 100% working. And so if they're not working for you, it's basically because you're doing something wrong. So I'm going to name those in a bit. In addition to the ones that I do name, there are others that work, but they're kind of touch and go, so I'm going to leave them out of the confirmed ones. And I'm basically going to talk about where issues lie, what needs solving, and basically how it's going to be done. So, to start with, some of you may already know that recently a kernel has been released by a guy called Bronzovka. Now, although this kernel is a great step forward, there are major issues with it. I haven't used it myself, I've only looked at the code, but the people that have used it have been saying that it doesn't work on certain AMD like CPUs at all, so it just doesn't work. You can't boot anything up. And then people that say that it has worked, basically what they have reported back is that Finder is broken. And for those of you who don't know, Finder is kind of the Mac version of Explorer. So if Finder kind of breaks, you're kind of screwed to be able to do anything on Mac unless you've got stuff open as it is. So obviously that kernel does need a lot of improvement. Although probably the best thing about it is that it's actually sparked interest in the whole AMD kernel scene again, and there are a fair few people now who are looking at it. For example, me personally, I've made a few things recently, and which have been available through the site as test files, and I have had positive reports on them. And basically, I would say 6 out of the 18 people who tested that specific kernel had AMD working. So there is slight improvement in what I've been doing, although I'm going to be straight honest and say that I'm not advanced enough to be able to make a full kernel by myself. So all I'm going to do is contribute work to other people. And on that note, some of you may be happy and may all be aware actually that Norcom has come back onto the scene. For those of you who don't know who Norcom is, he's basically the reason that Snow Leopard was able to run on AMD machines. Although he did have help, he's kind of recognized as the guy who made the legacy kernel. And so this means that we now have kind of a place to start on the Lion AMD kernel and get it kind of going. And so I had a brief chat with Norcom the other day, and by brief I mean really quickly. And kind of, although it's impossible to kind of confirm what's not working right now, after having a look at some kind of after looking in VMware through a debug console, what we've kind of found out is that there's issues in something that Apple has added in the RTC code, which is called Platform Abstraction Layer. And what this is doing is causing an issue to stall on the first user space thread. And now what this basically means is that this is the reason you're seeing an Apple logo. So AMD users, if you're seeing an Apple logo instead of it booting, that is what's happened there. So that's what's broken. So I'd also just like to make clear now that I'm speaking strictly in terms of VMware, so I'm not referencing anything to do with native installations because that's not what I get involved in. So VMware is basically what I'm referring to. So what this does is, basically as soon as the root device is detected and a UUID is actually given to it, the whole thing kind of breaks itself down and just stops. Now, this happens on AMD, and it also seems to be happening on Intel. However, for the people that happen on Intel and have just the Apple, it is very most likely for a totally different reason. If it's for the same reason, then I'm not too sure what the issue is, but I'll be taking a look into it now because I finished university, so I have 5 straight months of just working on the kernel, getting stuff sorted. And so the suggested solution to this is, after speaking with Norcom, basically we think that after looking at how we changed it in the previous versions of the AMD kernel, what we did there was basically emulate SSE3 instructions to CPUs that can't support it, so they only have SSE2. Now we're currently thinking that this is going to happen kind of the same way in this kernel, although I'm not sure to start with. But Norcom is working on it, I think. Let me just look up through my chat log. Okay, and there is also, obviously, you guys, well, hopefully some of you guys know of Meclaw. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but the guy who makes the Chameleon loaders, and basically he wants to move all CPU detection to the loader, which makes stuff easier for us. And there is also a guy called Raw x86. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name either, because it has a lot of colons in it. But what he's done recently is cleared up some issues with the kernel on Bulldozer AMD CPUs. So AMD CPUs, the Bulldozer family, are now working and running Lion. So that's one confirmed, which I'm going to come back to in a bit. And basically, there are improvements, and it's all come very quickly. This is totally not referencing anything here, but from what I think is that from now on, you won't see anything for a couple of months, and then everything will be sorted at once. So I think people will go quiet for a bit whilst they're working on various different things, and then suddenly everything will just, kernels will fly out, be working, support everything and stuff like that. So, let me think, what else did I have to say? And in terms of AMD CPUs that are definitely working, although you've probably expected a large number here, I can only, as of this moment, confirm that AMD FX CPUs, which is, the Bulldozer ones, are working 100%. Certain Phenom 2 ones are working, although they're a bit touch and go. It's quite strange because some work and some don't in the same environment, so it must be related to, well, I'm not really sure what it's related to, but there's some sort of issue that needs sorting. And the AMD E300 series are all working. Although, again, with the AMD E350, I think it is, that's touch and go. However, my kernel that I've made, although it's not kind of a kernel, although it kind of is, it's difficult to explain, but the stuff I've made recently in my test files, they are making the AMD E300 series work completely. So that'll get fixed soon. And I think that's about all I have time to say. I can't think of anything that I've missed, but if anybody has any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. If you want more detail, I'll probably leave a comment replies to you. But obviously, got to keep it simple because YouTube has, various different limits on what you can write and stuff. But yeah. So to sum it all up, people are now working on the AMD kernel more, whereas previously there was only one person working on it. There has been improvements in terms of there is now the ability to run it on Bulldozer CPUs perfectly thanks to Raw x86. Obviously, Norcom's come back, Bronzovka's started, and me personally, I've got a few things out which are helping people. So basically, it's looking good for AMD users. Hopefully, something will be out soon. And without giving anything away, I think the next thing that will be released will be slightly impressive. So, and apart from that, I can't really think of anything else to say, except that the stuff I've been saying right now applies to Mountain Lion as well. So once Mountain Lion comes out, don't be expecting AMD straight away because obviously it kind of follows Lion. So I just get that one out there. And apart from that, hopefully this video kind of clears up the issues. I've said basically everything that I can think of to say off the top of my head. And hopefully you guys understand that it is difficult to get this to work. So your support is kind of appreciated, and people who just, complain about it, if you can't be bothered waiting, go ahead and do it yourself. That's all I'm going to say to you. So again, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. We hope to have AMD sorted out fairly soon. And apart from that, thanks for watching again. Subscribe to my channel because this is obviously when new updates will be released. And I will see you whenever the next thing comes out. So look forward to that. Cheers. Bye.